My dear students, today we are going to talk about sixth lesson in algebra, which is the square root. We have studied before this sign. It means if you want to find the square root, for example 36, it means we try to find the number if we multiply by itself, get us 36. There are two answers. It will be positive 6 and negative 6. How? Because if you multiply 6 by 6, it will be equal 36. And if we multiply also negative 6 by negative 6, it will be equal also 36. So we have here two answers. When we can take the first one or the second one, let's see example to understand this point. Find square root 25 here. If he asks me to find positive square root 25, it means we take only positive answer 5. But if he say negative square root 25, it means we take only negative answer negative 5. Finally, if he asks me to find positive or negative square root 25, it means we take both of them positive or negative 5. So let's see more exercises of this lesson to understand this point. Exercise complete. Here he asked me to find positive square root 36. It means we take positive answer, it will be positive 6. Number 2, negative square root 81. It means we take negative answer, it will be negative 9. Number 3, positive or negative square root 64. Here he asked me to take both answer, positive or negative, so it will be positive or negative 8. Number 4, he asked me here to take negative square root 4 over 9. To find the square root of a rational number formed from numerator and denominator, we here find the square root of numerator and denominator in the same time. It will be equal negative 2 over 3. Number 5, positive or negative square root 0.81. The first time we can change this decimal number into fraction, it will be equal positive or negative square root 81 over 100. Now we can find square root of numerator and denominator like that. It will be equal positive or negative 9 over 10. Finally, it will be equal positive or negative 0.9. Number 6, we have here square root brackets negative 2 over 3 raised to power 2. As the first time, if we have here any power under square root, we must do it as a first time. So we find here square root for 4 over 9. It will be equal 2 over 3 finally. There are some rules. We are going to talk about these rules. Listen to me to understand this point. If you want to find the square root for any letter raised to any power n, it means here to find its square root, we divide this power by 2. I means a raised to power n under the square root, it means equal a raised to power n over 2. Example, square root x raised to power 6, it will be equal x raised to power 3. Why? Because if we multiply x power 3 by itself, x power 3, it will be equal x power 6. So when we find square root of any sample raised to any power, we divided this power by 2 to find the right answer. If we have here square root number 9, x raised to power 4, y raised to power 8. We try to find the square root of each one alone. I means we find the square root of 9, it will be equal 3. Square root of x raised to power 4, it will be x raised to power 2 because we divided its power by 2. Y raised to power 8, it will be equal y raised to power 4. Let's see more exercise on this part to understand this lesson. Exercise complete. Number 1, square root 25x power 2. To find the square root of 25, we take positive 5 and x raised to power 2, we divided its power by 2. It will be finally equal 5x. Number 2, square root 81 x raised to power 6 y raised to power 16. we find the square root of 81, we take the positive answer, it will be equal positive 9. And x power 6, it will be x power 3. Y raised to power 16, it will be y raised to power 8. Finally, it will be equal 9x raised to power 3, y raised to power 8. Number 3, negative square root 9x power 4, y power 8 over x power 6. We try to find the square root of each one here. And don't forget this sign negative. We must write negative answer. It will be negative 3x raised to power 4. It will be x raised to power 2. Y raised to power 8. It will be equal y raised to power 4. And x power 6. It will be x power 3. Finally, ask me here to find positive or negative square root 49. A power 4, b power 2 over c power 6. We also try to find square root of each number and symbol under this square root, and don't forget to put this sign. We take here both of them positive or negative. It will be equal positive or negative. Up here it will be 7, and a power 4 it will be a power 2, b power 2 it will be b power 1, over c power 6 it will be c power 3. Let's see, follow the square roots. Note here, if you want to find the square root 10 power 2 minus 6 power 2, we can divide it, both of them, their power by 2. This is wrong, because if we have any operation under square root, we must do it as a first time. So we can't say square root 10 power 2 minus 6 power 2 equal 10 minus 6. Finally, it will be equal 4. This is false. But right here, we must, if we have square root 10 power 2 minus 6 power 2, do here the operation which is power. 10 power 2 it means 100, minus 6 power 2 it means 36, and 100 minus 36 it will be equal square root 64. Finally, it will be equal 8. This is true. Okay, let's see more exercise on this lesson. Exercise complete. Square root 1 and 7 over 9. As the first time, we must change this mixed number into fraction form to find its square root. It will be equal square root 16 over 9. Finally, it will be equal 4 over 3. Number 2, square root 8 raised to power 2 plus 6 raised to power 2. As the first time, we must do, yes, power as the first time and addition operation. It will be equal square root 64 plus 36 equals square root 100. Finally, it will be equal positive 10. Number 3, square root 3 power 2 plus 4 power 2. By doing the previous steps, it will be equal square root 9 plus 16 equals square root 25. Finally, it will be equal positive 5. Number 4, we have here square root 9 over 16 plus 1. As the first time, we must do addition operation under square root. It will be equal square root 25 over 16. Finally, it will be equal 5 over 4. Number 5, he asked me here about the multiplicative inverse. We have studied before the multiplicative inverse. It means we find the reciprocal of or flip this rational number to find its multiplicative inverse. But we have here square root 4 over 25. As the first time, we must calculate this. Square root 4 over 25, it will be equal 2 over 5. And then we find the final answer, multiplicative inverse of 2 over 5, it will be equal 5 over 2. Number 6, the additive inverse of negative square root 25 over 36. As the first time, we must calculate negative square root 25 over 36. It will be equal negative 5 over 6. And what about the meaning of additive inverse? It means we find the opposite sign, so it will be equal positive 5 over 6. Finally, this example, he asked me to simplify square root 4 over 25 times, open brackets, negative 5 over 2 raised to power 2 divided by negative 7 over 8 raised to power 0. How to solve this exercise with steps? As the first time, we must calculate square root here. 4 over 25, it will be equal 2 over 5. And we have studied before, when we have here even power, we can cancel negative and distribute power 2 above 5, and 2, it will be equal 5 raised to power 2 over 2 raised to power 2 divided by negative 7 over 8 raised to power 0, it will be equals 1. Now we can simplify it. It will be 2 over 5 as it times 25 over 4 divided by 1. Finally, we can calculate this operation by using your calculator. It will be equal 5 over 2. Thanks for your listening. Goodbye with the next session with Mr. Hazem.